Hi there, welcome to Peter Gorton at Home. And today I'm really excited because I've just had my delivery of some wonderful venison. And the venison has come from the Elston Farm Venison, which is from MC Kelly up in Devon. Delicious, and I love it. Right, first things first, I'm going to tell you about a saddle of venison. Right, saddle I have boned out. Now when you're going to bone meat, a lot of young chefs ask me, how do I bone things? Make sure you've got a nice sharp knife. Make sure that your knife is not too flexible because you're going against the muscle. All right, this bit I've already boned out and I've taken this part of the saddle off, and look how beautiful and lean that is. Absolutely delicious. On the other side, you'll see here that I've left the skin on. I haven't taken off that sinew yet. And I will do that, so my knife would go underneath and take the sinew. It's very important to take the sinew off because the sinew can be quite tough and you don't want to be chewing on it. All right, underneath the saddle you have these babies, these little babies. On beef you'd have bigger ones, and this would be the equivalent to a fillet of beef or your beef fillets. So that's a bit on saddle. Next, if you come down here with me, I will show you the haunch. Now I boned this out this morning and I'll talk you through. I'll start with this bit, which is the rump. We call it the rump or the chump. The chump is the bit that's attached to the saddle and the leg. You can cut it in half. You can do it as a steak. You can put it on a barbecue. Delicious. This bit is the salmon cut. Not a lot of people tend to use that, but it is delicious. Very, very good for stir fries, and you can roast it and eat it like that. Wonderful. This is the silver side. Now I've left the silver skin on to show you why it's called the silver side. You can see it there, and that's part of the muscle. When you take it out and you divide it, that will be left on there, but make sure you trim it. Down here you have the shank. Now the shank would be used for things like ossobuco, like I've put there. Really lends itself to braising. For a good hour and a half, a bit longer if you want, depending on how you want it cooked. It's also good in burgers and sausages, the meat from that. Over here, you have got the thick flank or the top rump, sometimes called both, so it can get a little bit confusing. A good roasting joint. What you would do is you would tie that with string, then you put it in the oven and bake it, and we'll go on to cooking a joint in a minute. Over here, we have top side. So there you go, you got the top side. So basically, that is, in a nutshell, your haunch boned out. I'll show you the bone. There's the bone, there's the hip bit, and there's the leg bit, the femur bone there. Right. I also received from MC Kelly some wonderful venison dice. There's a kilo of venison dice there. So if chefs want to buy that, they can buy that. Brilliant for pies, and the same quality as that venison there. Right, how do you roast one of these joints? The best way of doing it, and I'll give you an example here, and I've written it down here for you. A boneless roast, so 650 gram haunch will serve 4 people. Take it out at room temperature for 15 minutes. After you've done that, roast in the oven first at 220 degrees for 20 minutes. Turn your oven down to 180 degrees and cook for a further 10 to 15 minutes per 500 grams. When you've done that, remove it from the oven. You must let your meat rest, because when you let the meat rest, all the juices are reabsorbed and you end up with a beautiful tender piece of meat. And then if you cut it, it won't bleed too much. That's very, very important to rest the meat. Other things I need to tell you is venison is rich, and I've written it on this, rich in iron, omega-3. It's brilliant lean meat with very little fat. So buy more venison. It's wonderful, wonderful meat. I'm going to do a lot of recipes with all of these cuts over the next couple of weeks, and I will share the recipes with you. I'll share them on my social media, and I'll also put them on my YouTube channel, which is Peter Gorton Chef. In the meantime, stay safe and happy cooking. And remember, if you'd like to order any venison, go to mckelly.co.uk. You will not be disappointed.